Yo, you guys ready to get like hyped and stuff? Let's get hyped. If you are in an applicable country, in an applicable region where you have the hype function, follow the on-screen directions here and make sure you're dropping some hype on this video. Let's get this goth boy message out there. Let's expand the red pill gothic subculture. And I'm not talking about conservative red pill. Red pill as in you're waking up from the bullshit. You're not falling for the propaganda. That shit has DEI'd. I know it doesn't spell it correctly, it sounds good. Join the common sense revolution by helping your boy's message get out there by giving me some hype on this video today. And while you're at it, like and subscribe. Preesh. Anyway, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the video, shall we? Hopefully you guys enjoyed me ripping apart some jokers out there. But today we're just gonna be talking about stuff I find on TikTok, specifically in the metal sphere. Let's see if we can find any other girls that are flaunting their last boyfriend's interests for content. Oh man, people got super mad about that. And I've seen comments about people saying like, well, he probably got his makeup from his ex-girlfriend. Two things. No, I found a girlfriend in college 17 years ago because I was already wearing makeup that I figured out by myself that I was inspired to do by men, actually. These ones specifically. Secondly, if I had gotten makeup from my ex-girlfriend, I would already said that's not a bad thing. And I would have been like, yeah, I did. Thirdly, that would also prove me right, since I would have developed a feminine trait that I use to get more women. Same as developing typically masculine interests are quite good at catching a very specific type of man. But that's okay, I won't get too deep into this. I know you guys really do struggle to keep up with what I'm saying. So let's just get into the metal TikTok and let's see what happens. And if I hear that song again, I just won't put it in the video.
People call in popular bands and bands that blew up online Poseur bands.
I already love her accent. Who sounds like that anymore? That's crazy. I love hearing unique accents that you hear in cartoons and stuff.
Is the most chronically online thing that I've seen a while in the community. I've called my fair share of people posers, but I have never once just called a band a poser band. I see a lot of people getting mad when you make the point that these bands are popular for a reason, but it is true. These bands are popular for a reason, even if it's not a good reason. The bands are not the problem. The problem are those breeds of fans that just act absolutely insufferable, creepy stans, and don't bother.
Yeah, I mean, this is true, man. This is what I was saying about the how popularity of a band lends to its notoriety, especially notoriety revolving around the concept of being a poser band. See, whenever it comes to metal, I don't want to use her entire video. If you want to go and watch it, check it out. But if you wanted to get into a genre of music for the money and the bitches, you know, to gain something specific, then you can just do what's his name dropped out of my head as I went to go say it. Post Malone. I don't know why I sound like Nathan Lane there. You can go check out Post Malone and what he did. He was originally in the metal band, No Money or Bitches, starts doing whatever the hell that is, Money and Bitches. That's a poser. That's a poser right there. He's pretending to be something he isn't in order to get something like money and bitches. And pillies. Whatever they are. Do you have any idea how much of a mess the metal industry is right now? If you want to get into the metal game, if you want to be a metal band, a successful one, there is all kinds of crazy shit that's stopping you from making that happen. The fans are one of them. The fans are definitely responsible for that. But yeah, the more popular a band gets, a metal band specifically, the more popular a metal band gets, and it's one of the only subcultures that does it. In fact, I think subcultures almost exclusively are responsible for this. If they get too big, the fans people start eating it alive. Selfishness, I don't know. I mean, even purely based from a ethics standpoint, trying not to be mainstream is like their whole thing. It's like their whole ethos. So when their bands are no longer a reflection of them, something that's not part of the mainstream, something that's not part of common society, they then lose the association with it. And then this is where the mistake comes in, the misnomer, where they're a poser band. It's not. They just no longer represent you. But they are popular. And I, for one, think it's actually quite good for metal to stop permeating the mainstream. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of sick of hearing the same synth-pop trash on the radio, man. I think music truly died. I think mainstream music truly died once and for all the moment Hotline Bling was played on the radio and was like a #1 hit. Was it #1 hit? I don't know. I just know it was everywhere. Hotline Bling, I remember being the first moment where unironically I was like, this is actually the worst song I've ever heard in my life. Not even just like contrarian metalhead, like objectively, not subjective, objectively, it is the worst song ever made. Not only is this a terrible, terrible, terrible song, it's performed terribly, it's lazily, just everything from production to performance is terrible. That wasn't the worst part of it. There's been bad songs written before that, but they hadn't gotten this big. Hotline Bling was the beginning of the end. So if I can get metal, or if we can get metal or alternative music mainstream again, like it was, and it has done before, okay? Before people were like, no, we should never let it go. It already did. And you know what that period of time was? The happiest mankind has ever been. It was like 95 to 2005. It was like the best time ever, except for that blip that happened in 2001. But by 2005, we were 2 towers short, but pretty ecstatic with the state of music, actually. And there was no social media making things worse. There was no social media making things worse. You know what? I still consider that a win, because for the majority of that decade that I just arbitrarily assigned there as the happiest period in human history, at 95 to 05, that's still a majority before 2001. That's a win, man. And in the UK, things were pretty dope. I mean, we did have terrorist attacks by you-know-who, but this wasn't enough to dampen our spirits too far. I can honestly say that 2009, the dawn of social media being a thing, like that was around the time that Twitter was a thing. That was around the time that Facebook as well came into like full power and homogenized social media forever from that point on. But Linkin Park and Deftones and like alternative music was everywhere. It was on daytime TV. It was in like mainstream movies. There were metal songs. There were new metal tracks and metalcore songs. Like All That Remains was in Saw. You had metal songs in horror movies. Like cinema release movies had metal bands in them. That's awesome. This whole like Poseur band shit, being hyper vigilant for Poseur band, you're ruining it. You're ruining what could be a resurgence of the happiest period in human history. The aforementioned 95 to 2005, when things were great. You had the rise of metalcore, you had the rise of emo, skinny jeans, flip phones, MySpace, Gene Co, the big baggy pants, Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean. Everyone was bopping, not bopping, like bopping. Before bopping meant this, bopping meant this. Sorry, I went off on a massive tangent there. I have 23 minutes I have to fill for a recording session, so I tend to just do this thing called stream of consciousness. But yeah, go watch their entire video. I like the idea of defending bands that get popular. And yeah, it's usually the fans that are the problem, not the band. So before you hate on a band for being too popular, ask yourself, is it the fans or the band? In my case, though, it's the band. I'm never going to listen to Sleep Token. Lo siento. You see, this is the thing. This is how I know. And do you know what? Studies have been done to show that metal enjoyers, metal fans, they think differently. They find deeper joy in the music that they listen to. They have other aspects of their personalities and psychologies that are far more fulfilled thanks to metal music. And their interests also expand beyond metal into other themes and things like classical music. There's a connection there that you don't find in any other kind of music. Their fans just aren't as cool as metal fans. But this is the thing, man. This is what I never understood, why people don't unanimously love metal, because never has anyone sat there like this and then Hotline Bling comes on and they go like this. Hotline Bling was like the biggest, most terrible song of the time. And the most reaction people would have got from it would have been like this. Oh, that's actually all right. Oh, that's actually an all right song. Yeah, that song's not bad. I quite like that. Have we seriously ascertained that most popular music is merely tolerated, and the level of which it's tolerated determines its popularity? No one's ever like, oh, yes! Hotline Bling! More! Did you ever, like, see Hotline Bling come on at that club, and people just start crowd killing? Or picking up pennies? Tearing up? Because there are metal songs that you hear that make you tear up. Have you heard Epic Cloud by Devin Townsend? Make it through that without crying. There is no popular radio hit bullshit that's made people drive their cars and be like, next up is the #1 song by the #1 artist. And then it plays and it changes people's lives. Doesn't happen. Doesn't exist. This concept is, that's dead. That was the 2000s. That was the 90s. Hell, that was the 80s and the 70s even more. That stuff doesn't happen anymore. We are getting sludge delivered to our radios. Our number ones, our top 10 spots. Sludge. DMC grade demon sludge to dull your senses and make you compliant. Because whenever you remove the concept of beautiful art created by skilled artists and musicians, whenever the music that pervades the airwaves, whenever you dull that down, you make that uninspired, lazy drivel, you kill the human spirit. It has to be intentional. It has to be. There is metal music out there that makes people react in a way I've never seen popular music do to a human being. Whenever a metalhead discovers a new song, it's life-changing. It's life-changing. It becomes the thing they listen to for the next couple of years. They buy new shirts. They change their hair. Sometimes even change their makeup if it's like that kind of band. It changes who they are as a person. Changes their personality, changes other things they're now interested in. It like broadens their horizons, pulls another hood off their head to reveal the shining, beautiful meadow of more metal music that sounds like this kind of stuff they just found. This is this new wave of kids, man. She's right. She's right. This is this new wave of kids. It's just like, they've become so entitled because they've been coddled so much. Everything that makes them feel uncomfy needs to be removed, right? So that it's pure now. Like all these new wave black metal fans just being like, I love black metal now because of that Netflix movie. But like, a lot of it's problematic. A lot of black metal's problematic. Fuck, and? Who cares? I know you do, but no one else does. Why do we now need to change it? What is with this constant martyrdom? Why do we always need to just die on these hills, constantly, fighting for things that won't ever change? And if you did change them, would completely ruin it anyway. It exists in the state that it exists in for a reason, because this system works. Because this is what the fans wanted. Oh, but what about the Nazis and the Nazis that are in it? What, so? There's a shit ton of crime going on at the moment, and none of them are Nazis. If I'm walking through Detroit on a weekend at midnight with my wallet full of singles, I'm not checking over my shoulder for a Nazi. And if you don't want to listen to it, and you listen to, like, vegan black metal, I'm sure it exists, don't try and erase the other black metals that you don't like. Just don't listen to it. Leave everybody alone. Even the Nazis? Yes, even them. Just leave them alone. Are you familiar with the Streisand effect? You don't agree with it, you don't partake in it. It's super simple. It is not your job, your responsibility, or even within your power to erase the aspects of things in your life that you don't like, okay? Deal with it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming by. Bye.